Guy Ritchie's The Covenant is the newest Guy Ritchie film and stars Jake Gyllenhaal, with Jake Gyllenhaal's character being a sergeant in the military when he gets attacked by the Taliban and his interpreter has to save his life. Afterwards, his interpreter is stuck in Afghanistan and Jake Gyllenhaal sets a course to save his interpreter. So let's talk about The Covenant. So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I'll be talking about Guy Ritchie's newest film, The Covenant. So for me, I thought The Covenant was a good film that provided a decent theater experience. I thought the story was well made and I was able to connect with it on a personal level. However, I don't think The Covenant is the best movie that Guy Ritchie made, but I think it's a pretty decent one. So let's dive into the review for The Covenant. Let's start with the story first. The Covenant is about a military sergeant, John Kinley, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, when he's trying to gain military intelligence in Afghanistan. Him and his interpreter find themselves in a sticky situation when they're attacked by the Taliban. Jake Gyllenhaal's character then gets into a critical condition, and his interpreter has to help save his life and get him out of that area that is surrounded by the Taliban. After this, the interpreter is then stuck in Afghanistan, and Jake Gyllenhaal sets a course to try to save him. So overall, I think the story is pretty well done. It's a very simple story, but I think it's pretty effective. However, it's pretty long and it kind of overstays its welcome. But overall, I thought it was a pretty decent time. It was a good military story, and I think Guy Ritchie did a good job in crafting the story and executing it on the big screen. So for me, I just think that overall, it was a great package, and I thought the story was excellent. Now let's talk about the entertainment value for The Covenant. So The Covenant provides a reasonable entertainment experience and has fun and entertaining military fight sequences and has acting that is pretty extraordinary. With these military fight sequences, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of them, even though this is a military movie. You're expecting pretty much most of the movie to be these military fight sequences. You get them, but it's not the entire point of the movie. With these action sequences, unfortunately, though, I don't think that they're the highlight of the movie. And they are played safe by Guy Ritchie. He kind of just writes them in just because they need to be in there. And for me, I thought going in, knowing that this is Guy Ritchie, I was hoping that he would sprinkle a couple of his his own flavor within these action scenes, and unfortunately, I didn't really get that. Even though they were entertaining, they weren't all that special, and I'm really not going to remember that. Going into the acting department, Jake Gyllenhaal is the star of this movie, and he blows this performance out of the water. However, I don't think this is the best performance by Jake Gyllenhaal, but he definitely enhances this film. If Jake Gyllenhaal is not in The Covenant, I'm probably not going to like it as much as I did if he's not in it. He really does a good job with being this character of John Kinley, this military sergeant, and I think overall he just does an excellent job. So all in all, I think the entertainment value is there, and it just connects all the pieces in one. And I think the value for The Covenant in regards to the entertainment is pretty reasonable. Unfortunately, I do have some negatives with The Covenant, as this movie is directed by Guy Ritchie and is the first military-based movie handled by Guy Ritchie. I was hoping that his unique style of directing would be inflicted into The Covenant. However, that's not really present in The Covenant, as it feels like a generic military movie, and I was disappointed because I really wanted his own unique style. If you think about movies like Wrath of Man, The Gentleman, and Snatch, you can clearly tell that Guy Ritchie has his own unique style in regards to writing and directing, and it just feels cool and fun, and I was hoping that this would be inflicted into The Covenant. Now, I'm not expecting the entire movie to be like that because it's a military movie, but Guy Ritchie always finds a way to inflict his own unique style. And for some people, they don't necessarily like his style, but for me, I do like his style. I think the movies that I just listed are really fun and entertaining, and his own unique style enhances those movies. Now, I don't think that The Covenant suffers from not having his own unique style, but I was let down because it didn't have it. Another negative of mine is that I think this movie, it takes too long. It's too long. Sometimes there's moments in this movie that just drag and it overstays its welcome. So overall, I thought that the movie was still fun and entertaining, but I was kind of disappointed that one, Guy Ritchie's unique style is not inflicted into it, and I was kind of like, okay, let's move forward in the story, and that's basically all the negatives I have with The Covenant. Before I give my overall thoughts and grade for The Covenant, I wanted to explain how this story connected to me on a personal level. Now, I'm not going to get too personal, but I wanted to just showcase how this story was able to connect to me, unlike most other films. So with The Covenant being said, the main point of this story, and it's said in the film, that the Covenant is a bond and a commitment, and Jake Gyllenhaal's entire purpose is after his interpreter saves him, his entire goal is to go back to Afghanistan and save him. And so for me, this is kind of a friendship dynamic, and for me, it kind of really matched a friendship that I have in real life with my buddy Ali. And so with the situation with Jake Gyllenhaal saving his interpreter, I thought that I was the Jake Gyllenhaal and my buddy was an interpreter. And without the second in my mind, I would do absolutely what Jake Gyllenhaal did. Obviously, this is a fantasy movie with the story is not really real life, but I was able to connect my personal, experience and friendship and woven it into this film. And I don't really get that with cinema here and there. So I thought that was truly extraordinary and it truly enhanced my experience. So for that, that was awesome. Overall, I think The Covenant is a well-made film. It has a story that I was able to connect with personally, has action sequences that are fun and entertaining, and it has a performance by Jake Gyllenhaal that is extraordinary. So for me, I think this is an overall great package, but unfortunately, it doesn't have that Guy Ritchie style that I was looking for. But I still think it's a good movie, and I'm going to give The Covenant a thumbs up. Let me answer the main question. Should you watch The Covenant? I think at some point you should watch The Covenant, but I don't necessarily recommend you going out to the theater and watching it that way. I think that this is a well-made military-based film, but it doesn't go above and beyond to where you have to go to the theater and watch it. If you can find this movie when it comes on streaming services or alternative ways, I think that's a better option at this point. Even though I don't necessarily think that you should go to the theater and watching it, I think you should watch it at some point because I definitely did enjoy the experience. There you have it. That's my review for The Covenant. And before I go, since The Covenant is a story involving the United States military, I wanted to send my gratitude and appreciation to any former and current members who served in the United States military. I thank you very much for your service. Also, I created a new channel called Nick City where I do a weekly show with my buddy Jordan and we talk about the New York Knicks. So if you like basketball or the New York Knicks, I'll leave the link in the description below. And if you like that stuff, consider following it. And that's the only time I'm going to promote that channel because I don't want to bombard you with that promotion every single time. If you saw The Covenant, please let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments, or let me know what your favorite military-based movie is. Thank you very much for watching this video, and if you like this, please click the like button, and if you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can see my awesome face next time. Till then, peace!